It's the Daily Dog.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Daily Doug. Thanks for being with me today as we start a brand new week here on the channel. It is a Monday and we're making it a Metal Monday as usual, but today it's going to be more of a symphonic Metal Monday because we're going back to music by Nightwish for the first time in quite some time. I have reacted to 9 different songs by Nightwish on the channel, but it has been more than 150 episodes since I listened to their music. I think the last one was in early December of last year, so it is beyond time to get back to this band, which I enjoy very much. So the song that we are doing today is called Song of Myself, and thanks to our friend Carrie for suggesting this one. This is the 12th and next to last track from Imaginarum, which was released in November of 2011, the band's 7th studio album. And Tuomas Holopainen, the band's main songwriter, has said that this is a concept album that tells the story of an older composer who is on his deathbed and reminiscing of his youth. And as I read in, there's a movie that they made of the same name that was released in 2012 that includes members of the band in the cast, and it also makes use of music from the band as well. I have not seen that movie, but that sounds quite interesting. So the song itself is an overt reference to the Walt Whitman poem of the same name, Song of Myself. And Nightwish's song is divided into 4 parts. Part 1 is called From a Dusty Bookshelf, and it is an instrumental introduction. Part 2 is All That Great Heart Lying Still. Part 3 is called Piano Black, and Part 4 is simply called Love. And Love seems to be an extended sort of outro to this track that is composed entirely of recited prose from multiple members of the band, I think. The Walt Whitman text that this is based on is extremely long, and it looks as though Tuomas's lyrics are a response to the Whitman text instead of simply making use of some of Whitman's words as lyrics. The whole song is 13 and a half minutes long, friends, making it the longest song on the album. But again, the last 6.5 minutes of the song are just that last section, which is just recitations of poetry. Really interesting. I have been encouraged to react to the live version of this song that was recorded in 2013 at their Wacken concert. And I have seen, as I read in today, I saw a video of this live performance that's about 7 minutes. And I also saw a video that includes part 4, the love section of this song, which I don't think that they did in live performance. And so I wanted to see which one to do. I wasn't sure which version of the song to do, and I sampled a little bit and spot checked the longer one, especially that last section. And I got the sense that while I think it's quite important to Omis that we'll stick to what they performed live and do the shorter version of this song. On the album, the performers are Tuomas Holopainen on keyboards, and he is a songwriter. Impo Vuorinen is on guitars. Marko Haitala is on bass and also has some vocals. Jukka Nevalainen is on drums and percussion. Troy Donockley is on uilleann pipes, tin whistle, the bodhran, and the bouzouki, and also on vocals. And Annette Olsen is on the lead vocals. But in this performance from 2013, of course, the lead vocalist is now Floor Jansen, who took over as vocalist when Annette and the band parted ways in October of 2012. So a basic read-in for this song has morphed into almost 2 hours of figuring out how it connects to the Walt Whitman poem, about the different versions of the song live, the version that was on the studio version versus this one, the change in lead vocalist. That's a lot of information on this, and it seems like a very personal tune for Tuomas. So I am looking forward to diving into this. Song of Myself, live from 2013 by Nightwish. Here we go. Sounds like Nightwish. It's got that orchestral sound included. And the bass is on a D minor, sounds like. Whoa. 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Nice. Straight D minor. In 7. Man, she's great, isn't she?
Deep breath I took still poisons my lungs. An old oak sheltering me from the blue.
That's a low A for her in that.
On its dead frozen blue.
A low D. Floor. And then this is an octave higher than she was. Already showing range. That's as low as I've ever heard her sing. Of Mermaids, of Whitmans, and the Ride, Raving Harlequins, Gigantic Toys. So an overt reference to Whitman. Change in dynamic, and then right back to it. In unison with Marco, I believe. Taking it down. It's what I think separates them from other bands that do metal sounds. Their composer is a keyboardist, not a guitarist or a bassist, so their music is going to sound slightly differently than other metal bands, right? It's an interesting little simple melody from 5 to 6 to 7 to 6 back down in the natural minor scale. 4 chord. Little chromatic breakdown. Great. All that great heart lying still in silent suffering. Smiling like a clown until the show has come to an end. Nice, heavy riff there. Still in D. That's something relatively different for Nightwish. They're sticking in the same key. They're not moving around. Yo. Oh, no. I hear flat 2 in there. flat minor to D? That was an interesting flat 6 chord. Regular flat 6. Back to D. I guessed right. There's that chromatic 6 chord again back. That's a really neat movement. Then the big B flat chord. Such good music, isn't it? There's that flat 2 again. Which makes it sound especially metal to me, that Phrygian 2nd scale degree. We're getting close to the end. The orchestration in that. It's in the background, but it's very, very cool. All that great heart line still. Slowly dying. High G at the end of it for floor. That's nothing. It's nothing. A D, a D3, all the way up to G. Oh gosh, 5. Dang. I mean, it's a heck of a piece. If you are interested in hearing the rest of it, I think it's quite fascinating. But metal, it is not. So that's why I decided to just keep that one out as we listened to this portion that they did in concert. It's wonderful, isn't it? I want to go back to one of these lyrics in the second part of the song, All That Great Heart Lying Still. And this is the lyrics, all that great heart lying still in silent suffering, smiling like a clown. Until the show has come to an end, what is left for encore is the same old dead boys song, sung in silence. All that great heart lying still and slowly dying, all that great heart lying still on an angel wing. That's some hefty lyrics, isn't it? What I get from that is that this is someone who has been hurt or compromised somehow emotionally, but who stays silent in silent suffering, right? And then maybe even fakes a smile, smiling like a clown, right? Until the show has come to an end. You put on a face that's not your own. And then we maybe let it all out in private. Sung in silence, right? What is left is the same old Dead Boys song. It's the same old composer's song, and it still doesn't work, right? It still doesn't help to communicate what it's hoping to, and I have a feeling that all of that just takes a toll on their mental health. Part 4, that whole last part, love, ends with this line. It says, and there forever remains that change from G to E minor. And I'm like, well, that's quite interesting. I think it alludes to the paradox of being human. Our personality is maybe our own sort of musical scale. We have all of these different notes that work together to make us us. And, and there are dichotomies in the way that we feel, we emote, the way we respond to life's events. All these take on different manifestations within our own scale. Right, and maybe happiness in this instance is conceived of and reflected in G major, where sadness or something different is reflected in E minor. But I think the point is the scales use the same pitches, just as our emotions do, just as our personality does. And Tuomas described these lyrics as a sort of celebration of life, noting its beautiful sides and dark sides at the same time. Myself being a composer, I think I understand Tuomas's point of view in this. Composers, at least in my experience, we observe society, we observe the things that go on around us, we observe, in this instance, systems that lift people up, as well as systems that keep people feeling isolated and alone and forgotten. And as musicians, as composers, we want to infuse meaning into our sounds so that others can learn, and hopefully these systems can change organically for the better. And over time, one can feel just jaded. When the point of view of our work and the acknowledgement of our observations goes, and our intent goes unvalidated, unseen, unheeded, and we begin to lose a little bit of hope, both in society and in our own ability to create meaningful art. The desire at the end of the day, I think, is to transcend our mortal life. We're just trying to make sense of it all, and we want to add to humankind's pool of generational knowledge and experiences in a profound and lasting way. And in this particular story, the tale of the composer as an old man who is coming to terms with his own mortality and transcendence, that's something that I jive with and understand. And I understand, I think, what Tuomas is talking about. And it's, we're not politicians. We're not in the political arena. We're musicians, but we see what goes on just as everybody else does. And this is our way of laying out the way that we see the world and trying to give heed to what has been observed, and we're trying to just make the world a better place. And in this particular story, sadly, I think it's an old guy who is recognizing I wasn't as successful as I hoped that I would have been, and that's an emotional thing. Really, really cool. I think on this album, I've only reacted to Storytime, which I think is I think it's the second song on the album. I have not heard the rest of it, but this makes me want to go back and go through the story a little bit. And I'm intrigued about the movie as well. It's a relatively short movie from what I saw. It's only an hour and a half long. So maybe I'll be looking that up at some point. But I think for today, that is all for us. What a fascinating song. Song of Myself by Nightwish from their 2000 and what was it? 2011 album Imaginarum, and really great stuff. So thanks y'all for hanging out with me today on a Metal Monday, a Symphonic Metal Monday. Thanks to Nightwish for all of your great music. We'll see y'all next time on another edition of the Daily Doug.